Here's why everyone is angry and what we can do about it. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Financial Fortress with Sherry Peel Jackson. Today we'll talk about the outrageous government spending that took place in 2022 and what you can do to buffer yourself in 2023. On Friday, December 23rd, Senator Rand Paul released his annual Festivus report. This report, like the Grace Commission report of old and the annual Citizens Against Government Waste congressional port books, details the frivolous runaway spending in which the United States government indulged. The 2022 Festivus report highlights over $482 billion in government pork, your hard-earned resources being spent on the most ridiculous, foolish, impractical, heart-wrenching things that you could ever imagine. Senator Paul stated, and I quote, "This will be the 10th year in a row that I've celebrated Festivus with you. By celebrating, I mean have a little fun at the expense of Washington. If we don't laugh, we might cry." End quote. Senator Paul is wealthy. He may be able to laugh at this injustice, but those of us getting our pockets picked left and right aren't laughing. We may not be crying yet, but we darn sure are angry. Let's review some of the ways the U.S. government wasted your hard-earned resources. The Small Business Administration made $4.5 billion worth of improper COVID-19 economic injury disaster loans. The federal government spent $28 million on camouflage that you can see. The government spends up to $1.7 billion on empty buildings. As Americans struggle to pay their rent, their hard-earned dollars are going towards other real estate. Uncle Sam's abandoned buildings and storage units. Yes, you heard that right. According to the Office of Management and Budget, the federal government spends more than $1.7 billion a year to maintain 77,000 empty buildings as of 2016. U.S. aid spent more than $270 million on basic education programs in Jordan. The federal government gifted $50 million to encourage tourism in Tunisia. The Department of Health and Human Services spent $168 million helping illegal immigrants avoid deportation. The National Institutes of Health spent $2.3 million injecting puppies with cocaine when they could have just looked at all the addicted humans around here. The National Institutes of Health also spent $2.1 million on encouraging Ethiopians to wear shoes. The government spent more than $1.1 million getting mice drunk when they could have just done their study on drunk people all over the streets. The Department of the Treasury spent $475 billion on interest payments in fiscal year 2022. Just days before Christmas, the big spenders in Washington jammed through a $1.9 trillion omnibus package for 2023. They released it in the dead of night, allowed for no real debate, and nobody in Washington even read the thing before being asked to vote on it. When this is how Congress funds the government, is it any wonder that the net interest payments on the debt rose to $475 billion for fiscal year 2022? There are so many more of these crazy expenditures, but the silliest one is this. The National Science Foundation spent $118,971 to study if Thanos could snap his fingers in real life. That money would have just about paid off my house. Now, are you angry enough yet? Some people may think that sinking the American people further and further into debt is inevitable, and that governments can't have a balanced budget, let alone a budget surplus. However, in 2019, there were 15 countries in Europe that produced budget surpluses. This fact reveals that fiscal responsibility is possible among national governments, and it proves that your Congress and Senate don't give a hot flash about you or your family. Their selfish, avaricistic behavior should trigger you to take action to protect yourself and your family from the debt slavery that's now looming on a large scale. Now I'm going to give you 10 stops and 10 starts for you to implement to protect yourself and your family from ending up in the proverbial soup line. These 10 stops are based on the fact that most people are living in the lost value system, which is the 10 life values system flipped on its head, where wealth is at the top, followed by leisure, then profession and education. Shout out to Dr. Spencer Holman for creating the 10 life value system and exposing the lost value system. Number 1, stop creating more debt. Put the credit cards on ice and don't purchase anything that you can't pay for outright, besides a house or a reasonably priced vehicle. Number 2, stop buying the latest and greatest cell phones and other gadgets when your current items still work. Instead, use any extra funds to get out of debt. Instead of buying a brand new vehicle, get a good used one instead and keep up the maintenance. You may not look cool or dope, but you don't need to be perpetrating the prima donna anyway. There's no faking it until you make it, because you won't make it spending all your money faking it. Number 3, stop trying to style and profile with the latest gym shoes, designer purses, or name brand clothes. Shop smarter. I see more intelligent people in the thrift store than I do in the malls. Number 4, stop buying and installing other people's hair on your head and go natural. Stop putting those eagle talons on your fingers and rakes over your eyes. That alone would save you over $10,000 a year that could go towards a good used car or be a solid down payment for a house or go towards a rental property to produce more income. Number 5, stop paying for cable TV. First off, you can't possibly watch 999 channels. And second, you don't need to be watching the electronic income reducer and the electronic intellect reducer at all. Spend your time at home building a business that'll earn you more resources to get out of debt and start building assets. Number 6, stop smoking cigarettes. I know that addiction is hard to kick, but it's not impossible. If you're a smoker, you're spending at least $10 a day, and when you quit, you'll be saving over $3,000 a year, which will have several practical uses, including debt reduction and asset building. Number 7, stop taking vacations on credit because you're stressed. When you get back home, the credit card bills will come in and you'll be more stressed than you were before you left. Take a staycation that you can drive to and stay 2 or 3 days without being in monstrous debt and have nothing to show but a few pictures. Number 8, stop getting into debt trying to get a degree. Most of the people I know that are $30,000 plus in student loan debt aren't even using the degree that they have. Go learn a trade. Those plumbers, HVAC techs, and nurses are making money hand over fist with no student loan debt and laughing at the degree tellers when they go to the bank. Number 9, stop eating out all the time, spending thousands of dollars a year in restaurants, not even knowing what's in that food. Instead of buying that latte and donut for breakfast or that restaurant lunch meal, prepare food at home. But many women today don't even know how to cook a proper meal. And I'm not talking about Hot Pockets either. Number 10. Stop buying lottery tickets. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than you do winning the lottery. And I'm not talking about getting struck once, but twice. Unfortunately, many people don't realize that they're spending hundreds of dollars a month on lottery tickets, enough to pay down debt or buy some silver and gold instead. Now let's talk about 10 starts that will help you create a firm foundation for your family to build a legacy and stay out of the poorhouse as this country continues to spiritually, morally, and financially decline with a quickness. These 10 starts are based on the 10 life values mentioned earlier, where the first 5 values are internal and the last 5 are external. Spiritual is first and wealth is last, but they're all interconnected. And without the first 5, the last 5 won't bring peace and happiness, even if you achieve them in the lost value system. Number 1, start spending time daily in meditation. Whatever your spiritual beliefs may be, neuroscientific studies show that meditation as a practice will literally rewire brain circuits and boost both mental and bodily health. Meditation has also been shown to bring a sense of calm and peace and balance while reducing stress and depression. Number 2, start exercising on a daily basis. Health in the United States has been on the decline for over a half century, and sitting is the new smoking. With all of the sugar, GMO foods, and vegetable oils being sold to us as healthy, we have an obesity epidemic that has reached epic proportions. Since the pandemic hit in 2020, many people have been working from home, causing the sedentary life to become normal. But this trend is very dangerous. Also, make sure your mental health is good. If you're having bouts of depression, please get help. Number 3, start reconnecting with family. In the coming months and years, as the economy continues to decline, we should be planning and preparing to help each other. Children may have to move their elderly parents in, or parents may need to call the children back home. Back in the day, families used to stick together and help each other grow and thrive. We need to get back to this model as soon as possible. Number 4, start paying attention to the effect your behavior, words, gestures, and personal dress have on you, those you interact with, and society at large. So many people are under great stress, and the way you act and respond could turn a potentially volatile situation into a pleasant exchange. Your kind words could cause you to meet new allies in this quest for survival in this new economy. Number 5, start paying close attention to your home, the place where you and your family live, grow, develop, and nurture each other. Is your home secure? Have you made those small repairs so that the problems don't get worse? Are you current on your rent or mortgage? I would suggest that you save up at least 6 months of rent or mortgage for hard times. If the jobs get lost like they were in 2008 and again in 2020, you'll have 6 months to regroup. Number 6, start paying attention to your immediate environment and then move outward from there. Do you know what's going on in your neighborhood, in your local schools or civic organizations? Do you and your family members have up-to-date passports to get out of Dodge if the need arises? Your mobility is more than just your vehicle, so make sure you're in tune with your local government and this national government that's raking us over the coals. Number 7, start educating yourself on the things that will help you thrive as things change in our world. Make sure you know how to grow your own food, take care of farm animals, build shelters, capture rainwater, and protect yourself from those that didn't get educated about these things. Set your personal educational goals to be met before the end of 2023, because I believe you'll need every ounce of knowledge and skill that you have at that point. Yes, I'm throwing hints. Number 8, start honing your professional skills to help you produce more resources and build a legacy for your family. Use the skills and knowledge you already have to start or grow a home-based business. Start working on a profession that will bring value to the marketplace and at the same time help your family build together. We need critical thinkers right now, people. Number 9, start taking time to get away and think. I know things are changing fast and people are starting to stress out, but to combat the temptation to become fearful about these critical times and about the things you're hearing, take some leisure time. Take a couple of days off from your job or business to clear your head, decompress, and let your mind relax and explore where you need to focus it for your family progress. And number 10, start being intentional about building wealth through hard assets. Get silver, get gold, buy real estate in the United States and abroad. Many of the wealthy people that I follow have purchased 40-plus acre ranches in the Midwest and Northwest. They have enough land, animals, and food for them and their families and their allies. Most of us don't have the capacity to put all that in place right now, but we can start building a financial fortress, one brick at a time. You can take the tax refund, for example, that's coming early next year, and buy silver and gold. We can rent out part of our homes and put that extra money back into the mortgage so the house can be paid off sooner. That strategy makes sure that you're not in trouble if your income declines or is eliminated for a while. Also, start building a wealth of friends that you can depend on when times get hard. We do need each other. That's it for the 10 stops and the 10 starts based on the 10 life values. Now, remember, at the end of each year, I perform the exercise of answering the questions to design your future. I'm not going to review the exercise this year, so take a look at the video that I did at the end of 2021. I'll place the link below. And I want you to complete the exercise to help you turn your anger into joy and hope. And prayerfully, I'll see you next year. Happy New Year to everyone. Be safe, you all.